Most people are not going to be successful, and it's for one simple fact. It's not the fact that they're not smart enough or they don't have enough talent or some other mystifying thing. It's the fact that they are not willing to grind without a reward in sight. See, the thing is, most people need to see the reward and the payoff before they actually grind and work hard, because they need to see the tangible result. But the problem is, if you need to see the result before you start grinding, you'll never see the result. And this is why most people are going to be highly unsuccessful. And if you want to learn how to be the opposite of this and avoid that, well then stay till the end of this video, because I'm going to give you the secret formula and tell you the number one reason that most people aren't successful and how to make yourself successful. Everything I've accomplished, whether it's getting millions and millions of streams on my band's music, placing top 5 nationally in classic physique and bodybuilding, or developing my coaching business, all of it shares one simple thing. They're all very different things, but I was able to work through the periods of darkness where I didn't see the reward and payoff. See, the thing is, guys, most people look at somebody that is achieving success or is well down the road to achieving it themselves, that they're looking at, I should say, and they think that this person has done something mystifying, that they are somehow blessed or they've had an unfair advantage that, that person that perceiving it, that they don't have, right? But the fact of the matter is, you have to understand, if you've not walked these roads yourself, if you haven't had that level of success that you want, and that's probably why you're watching this video, you just need to understand that people that get to the places that you admire, they were putting in work long before you ever saw it. I'll just use one simple example. When you see a player in the NFL, right? Let's say, like, I'm a big NFL fan. If you see somebody playing for your favorite team, you assume this player was just gifted a certain level of ability. Now, they probably are, but I want to tell you something here, and I want you to think about this. There are tons of guys that come out of high school that get top recruiting metrics when they go into college. They are a 5-star recruit. They end up playing at, University of Texas or Alabama or one of these bigger programs, and they never become anything. And then there's a lot of guys who come out of school, they're a 2-star recruit, and they end up working their way through these programs and they move up the ranks, even if they're to a smaller school. And sometimes they get drafted high in the first round and they go on to have really good careers. Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills would be one of them. But the thing is, and you have to understand this, is that yes, it does require talent. Yes, it does require ability. But the thing is, oftentimes the most successful people are not the people that actually have the most talent or ability. In fact, there's a lot of people that exist in this world that are highly, highly talented, but they don't have that level of success. And you have to ask yourself why this is. Well, it's because they and a lot of other people need to see the payoffs before they will put in the effort that's needed, right? That's why you can take somebody that has way less, let's say, genetic potential in bodybuilding, or that has, less raw physical attributes for football or something like that, and they can build themselves into being a better athlete or better bodybuilder than somebody that has elite genetics. I've seen this all throughout my life across music, business, and bodybuilding. And the thing is, guys, it's never the people that have that most raw ability. Some of them will become very successful, but oftentimes I'd actually argue that being the kind of guy that has that more raw ability actually will hold you back more, because a lot of times when you're younger, you don't learn how to work harder. So actually being the person that doesn't have the most raw ability or talent sometimes can serve you, because you have to learn how to work hard and how to develop consistency. And that's really all this comes down to. You need to understand that what you really need in terms of success, to be successful in anything, I just mentioned 3 things that I've been successful at: business, bodybuilding, and music. And if you looked at the outside of those and you sat there and thought, well, those things are so dramatically different from one another, what's the commonality between them? Well, you're looking at the surface level, right? Obviously, me being a metalcore vocalist and being a singer and a screamer and a songwriter is vastly different than building muscle, right? Those things don't have anything to do with each other. Or being a coach and building a business has nothing to do with, either of those things. But if you're looking at the surface level, sure, that might make sense. But if you see what's beneath that, you'll understand that success is a simple formula, actually. And this is why I actually love working with guys in part of my coaching, which is heavily mindset and masculinity focused, with physique coaching. The reason I blend the physique coaching in there is because most people learn how to become successful, how to build themselves internally and externally by building their body. Because once you hack the formula for how to build your body, you understand the success formula as it pertains to everything else. It is not some mystifying formula. It's actually very simple. Success is a simple formula, but it's not easy to execute, right? So when you think about what success is, it's skill, it's consistency, and it's effort, right? And you need to compound all of that over a long time horizon. So most people, they get caught up in this. And what happens is, I see this all the time with guys that I coach, is they hire me and they'll sign a 3-month contract because that's what I require to start working with me. And so they work for these first 3 months and they do see results, but they're not getting to where they want to be. They think they can go from like being vastly out of shape to being some jacked, ripped dude in 3 months. No, really, it might take 3 years in that case. And the problem is that most people aren't willing to look out that far. They can't conceptualize that because everything in our modern world is so instant gratification focused. So everybody wants to know what's the quickest way to get me from where I am today to where I want to be. And we all fall into this trap. I fall into that trap too, right? I'll give you a perfect example of this. My YouTube currently is, as I'm posting this video might get 20 views or 30 views or something. But last year I was getting thousands and hundreds of views on my videos because I was more consistent then. I fell away from it for 3 to 5 months. And the problem is that YouTube will crush you when you come back because it doesn't think you're a serious creator. Okay, so I'll stop showing the videos to people. But I have no problem making this video because I care about the value that's inside of this and I know there's a lesson to be learned. And the point is that if I didn't accept this reality and I just whine and complain about the algorithm and it's crushing me and it's doing this, then I would never get to where I want to be. Okay, I went through this before. Last time I came back to YouTube, I did go through the same thing. Now the thing is, most of us are afraid to do this and we won't do this. We won't take this leap for ourselves and we won't invest in ourselves. And this is why we won't become successful because we're too instant gratification focused, right? So we just go for the quickest, most cheapest dopamine that our brains can find, whether that's some distraction or video games or whatever it may be. We go to those things and we cope with them because they make us feel better that we're not willing to put in the investment in the long term. And this is so many men in today's world. And this is why most men won't be successful. Because I want you to understand this. If you take anything away from this video, I want you to understand this. Success is not something that is just carved out for a slim majority of men. It's not. It is out there and ready for any of you to take aim at it. Now, the thing you have to understand is you need to let go of your self-limiting beliefs and these reinforced stories you tell yourself. There are people that are born into better situations than you. They have wealthier parents. They have less problems. Maybe their health's better. Maybe they're taller than you. Maybe they have better genetics for building muscle or losing body fat. But here's the thing. All of us are dealt a certain deck of cards in life. Now, what you do with these cards and how you play your hand is what matters. That might sound cliche, but it's the truth. I need you to understand that, okay? The things that I am the most successful at, bodybuilding, music, and business, I was not born with some unique ability for these things. Sure, I have better genetics maybe for bodybuilding than the average guy. But the thing is, none of my friends that started lifting weights with me back when we were 16 years old, none of them know what their genetics are for bodybuilding. You know why? Because they never went far enough with it. They don't know if their genetics are good or not. I didn't even know if my genetics were good or not. I still don't even know if they're good or not, right? Because I've only been doing this seriously for 5 or 6 years. And the fact of the matter is, to really know if your genetics are good for bodybuilding, you need to be doing it for like 10 years. The problem is, what are you willing to invest 10 years of your life into? It doesn't need to be bodybuilding. It doesn't need to be anything specific. You just need to ask yourself, what am I willing to look at and build for the next decade to 2 to 3 decades in my life? And that's the thing, guys. Everything is the same as it ever was, right? The way you build businesses, the way you build your body, the way that you build a brand for yourself, it's all the same as it was 100 years ago. The problem is now that we have cameras in front of us, we have phones in front of us, we see these people who are highly successful and maybe they were at the top echelon of raw talent and ability and they had maybe some unfair advantages that you don't have or that I don't have. And we think that they're just blessed in some capacity. These people deserve success and you have to suffer with the mediocre life that you have. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not the case. And the longer that you put the delay between yourself starting what you want to do and going to where you want to go, the longer you give yourself that self-limiting belief, you keep telling yourself that success is some magical formula and it's not reserved for people like me, you know, like you, right? I'm saying you, not me. I understand the success formula and that's why I'm telling you about this. I want you to be successful, right? I want you to go out there and own the world. There's too many men that are walking this life with mediocrity. They're living beneath their potential. They're weak. They feel hollow and they turn to awful things to distract themselves, whether it's drugs or alcohol or some other, self-limiting thing. All of these things have a place in life, but if they become distractions in the way you cope with the misery that you're living within, well, that's not life, right? It's not about being successful. That's what I tricked you in with this video. It's about being fulfilled. I derive tremendous fulfillment from making and releasing music. And I derive tremendous fulfillment with building my physique and always bettering myself. See, that's the thing, guys. There's passions in you and they've likely been there since you were so young that you already probably know what I'm talking about. The problem is you're not allowing yourself to lean into it because somewhere along the line, somebody beat into your head that you shouldn't do those things, that you're not gonna be successful at it. Because you know why? The people that told you that, they are talking about their own self-limiting beliefs. Don't let that be you. Let yourself be the person who walks into that, who doesn't need to see the result before they start. Have belief in yourself. That's all you need.